Welcome to the Honor the Gift podcast. I am your host, Art McCracken. I specialize in transformational leadership and high-performance coaching. I've worked with hundreds of companies and thousands of individuals along the way, helping them achieve greater outcomes in all aspects of their life. I'm a speaker and writer, but at the end of the day, none of that holds a candle to being a husband, father, and friend. I believe the greatest gift in our mortal existence is the gift of choice. How we honor that gift will shape the eternities. I also believe that career is a way of being and not just a way of life. And when you figure that out, by learning to let go of the charades and leaning into growth, life just seems to unlock itself. I know this because I've lived it. Quite simply, my calling is people experience living true. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the commitment to lean into growth. I honor your journey. Now, let's do this. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another weekly episode. This week's episode is on the topic of focus, and more particularly, how we use our brain to focus on specific things to result in an outcome desired, and also how we may actually be hijacking some of our results based on how our brain functions. So we're going to talk about our reticular activating system to some degree, but most specifically, we're going to be talking about focus and intentional work that can help us produce greater outcomes. So let me start with a question. The question is, have you ever wondered why after you buy the new car in a specific color that you choose, and immediately after you drive off the lot, you see your exact same car in the exact color more frequently? Well, there's a scientific explanation for this, and it has to do with a little tiny system called your RAS. That stands for your reticular activating system. It's found at the base of your brain, and its primary function is to act as a conscious filter of information. So information comes in, we see something, we hear something, we sense something, and our brain filters whether it's important or not. If it's not important to us, if we haven't created a level of necessity for that type of information, it will filter it out. So here's the kicker, though. It filters and processes information based off of what we've practiced and repetitively played out as the most important information to us. Without getting too geeky, it works to project a reality that indeed you have trained it to project. Earlier this week, I had the chance to spend what I would consider critical coaching time with two individuals I care for deeply. Both had become so wrapped up in their own realities and thought processes that their view of the world was fixated. It was absolute, diminished, and less hopeful. So as we work to explore the relationship between what we spend our time trying to convince our brain of and how it then translates into a constructed reality, it was evident that a more productive pathway, including one that could bring more happiness, more confidence, and a better basis for the future to be built upon, was possible. The brain's a powerful weapon for either creation or destruction. Brendan Burchard said it once that what we apply hate to quickly dies. Quite literally, what we choose to see, say, and think about will scientifically create a farce filter of truth based on what we practice. So with that, I want to leave you this thought, that what we focus on becomes our reality. So if you think about that, if I focus on all of the things that are wrong in my life, there's going to be a lot of wrong things in your life. That will become the filter that you apply to all information coming in. And therefore, the information coming in will sift out all the good. It'll focus on all the things that you view that are wrong, or that you associate are wrong, or that you would want to use to further supplement that filter in the way that it's working. Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying this week's episode. If growth, personal growth and development is your thing, and you're here learning and leaning into growth, glad you're here, glad you're part of the community. If you want more of this, make sure and hit subscribe in this podcast platform or any of your favorite podcast platforms. Search for Honor the Gift podcast and make sure and subscribe so that it shows up each week with new updates, new conversations, new learning, new ideas and concepts, again, to help us all in this journey we call growth and how we make it through life and the way that we show up for others. Also, if you are looking for more information, deeper dives into some of these conversations, and just an update to stay in the loop, you can always go to choiceisthegift.com and click on subscribe, where you'll be in the loop on things that are upcoming and more updates on this podcast. Again, thank you for being here. Now let's get back to the episode. So, can we train our brains to react to things differently? Certainly. And it requires that we get more intentional about the things that we focus on. So be careful of the language that you use, the stories that you tell, and the amount of time and energy you spend trying to control the uncontrollables by focusing on everything that is wrong in your world with those around you. If this is something you struggle with, I would challenge you to be absolutely intentional this coming week. Pay careful attention to your view of yourself and the world around you. Listen to the language you use. Pay attention to the labels of circumstance you choose, the I ams and they ares, the can'ts and won'ts and nevers. Let your future be shaped by the possibilities of a better self. It will take practice, but you come well equipped with a tool that is perfectly designed to get you the results you want if you'll feed it with better information. Quite literally, you can shape your view of the world by focusing your thoughts and words on the opposite of what you have been. One step in that direction begins with gratitude. As you seek for and focus on even the smallest things and begin to verbalize and construct working terms around those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, you'll begin to change your view of the world around you. If this has impacted you, share it. If it can be of help to somebody you care about, share it. As I've shared before, I believe the greatest gift in our mortal lives is the gift of choice. How we honor that gift will shape the eternities. May we each honor that gift by the intentionality that we go into each day, the way that we think through what our brain is filtering, what our brain is associating itself with, what sticky platform our brain has created as a tool in our tool belt, and how do we change the information? How do we create new opportunities for that filter to work in a more effective way in our life? So the big question, what are you going to do with it now? What are you going to do with this information now that you know it? That's the grand question. And more importantly, it's the choice that is the gift that we're each given to do something with new information and how it might serve us and those we love better. So until next week, my friends, make it a great one. And remember to always honor the gift.